My name is Hannah Abrahams-Appiah. On this channel, we share secrets with young ones on how to navigate the complex maze of the adolescent phase of life and the young adulthood phase of life. Today, we want to look at an interesting topic, and I'm going to be talking about what is driving you. There's a driving force that controls people, consciously or unconsciously. Many people act, move, take decisions based on a particular driving force. And when you don't identify that driving force, you could be in an autopilot mood for a long time without realizing that there's been a force that controls you. And when that driving force is taken away, suddenly you find out that you come to a standstill because that driving force is no longer there. Have you ever taken time to identify what has been the driving force that has been controlling you? In our last episode, we talked about having a flight path clearly outlined, knowing where you are going. And we also mentioned that many times you could be completely off the flight path, but just having that path gives you a guided direction in which you are moving. But today we are looking at that driving force which helps you to move, which helps you to accomplish things in life. Many young ones, interestingly, like we have been saying and we have mentioned, are still in the growing phase. Many young ones are gaining independence, transitioning from one stage to another. They are developing life skills and they are learning to know who they are. Interestingly, these young ones have a driving force controlling them, and some may never have taken time to identify what driving force may have been controlling them. And so when they don't spend time to identify this driving force, what happens is when that driving force no longer exists, suddenly their vehicle comes to a standstill and they realize that they had been moving without an idea of what was giving them the grace, the energy to move. So my question is, what's been driving you? For many people, it is the past. For some, it is the present. For others, it is the future. The past situation he or she found himself in, challenges, poverty, wealth, failure, that past, growing up with parents who didn't have much or parents who were very comfortable, became the driving force for which he or she has been moving. For some, it is the present, survival. He needs to find a place to stay. He needs to find food to eat. He needs to pay his school fees. For others, it's the future, security. Where will I be tomorrow? What job will I do? What will I gain? How will I take care of my family? So the past, the present, and the future could be a driving force. For others, it is challenges of life. A young man had quite a number of siblings and was being taken care of by his parents. He had a comfortable childhood, everything was going well. And when he was in the university in the final year, he lost his father. He was a sole breadwinner. The mother was not a breadwinner. She was taking care of the home and the children. So suddenly they had no income source. He became the first and the male child, and everybody suddenly looked up to him to take the responsibility of taking care of his 9 siblings. The challenge became his driving force. He needed to sit up, he needed to think. What was he going to do in terms of finding the income to run the home and make sure that his mother is comfortable and so are his siblings? Somebody will say, why couldn't the mother take it up? She may never have had the skill, the capacity to be able to handle that situation at that time. So for this young man, what was driving him was the challenges and the responsibility. For certain young people, it's responsibilities. Present day responsibilities and future responsibilities, that is what drives them. For others, it is the name, They want to become known. They want to become popular. There was a young lady who had grown up with a lot of insecurities, and suddenly she wanted to belong to a certain clique, a certain class. So she started doing a lot of videos and posting them online to trend. And she started following the crowd. What people did to trend was what she was doing. Even though she had been trained to behave in a particular way, she threw away her values, she threw away her beliefs, and started posting videos that became an issue of concern, because some were nude pictures, some she was engaging in vices that were not helpful. Yes, eventually she got the name she wanted, but it was negative. She started trending. Others want the fame. So I'm talking of the name and fame. They are similar. They want to be popular, they want to be famous. So at any cost, he or she is willing to be famous. Some just love to be in charge. So they want to dominate, they want to tame an environment. That becomes their driving force. There's a young boy who wanted to be an SRC president. And the only reason why he wanted to be SRC president was not to bring better incentives or better additions or better changes. It was basically because the power that goes with that position was what he loved. So people have different driving forces. Is it wealth? Is it fame? Is it honor? Is it to be a blessing? Others are driven by God. They love God so much that anything God wants them to do, they are willing to do it. Others are driven purely by passion and talent. I have listed a number of things that drives young ones. I don't know which one has been driving you so far, but I'm always inspired by the testimony of a young man called Joseph. And this young man, in Genesis 39 verse 9, he said, "There is none greater in this house than I, neither has he kept back anything from me, but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" What was driving Joseph was God. Any young person listening to me, identify the driving forces. Identify what makes you do what you do. Once you can identify these driving forces, realize that there is a force which will keep your vehicle on the right path. And if any of these forces are negative, may they no longer be your driving forces. I believe that this video will leave you reflective, and it will help you to make a concrete decision on finding out what is driving you and identifying why you must continue allowing that force to drive you. God bless you for watching. Like the video, share the video, subscribe in case you haven't, and hope to catch you in the next episode. God bless you.